It's 67 degrees at 2 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Beulah Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, Lauren Brooks, Taylor Dahl, and Tom McManus. This is
Helmets and Heels.
Helmets and Heels on 1010XL.
Hope everyone had a wonderful Easter. What was the best thing that you ate yesterday, Tom?
Pound cake.
Oh.
My Lenten duties were up, so I eased into it with some scrumptious Nancy Dance pound cake. Yeah,
Heck
it was
yeah.
awesome. It was awesome. Great day yesterday. The mass was great. The party was great. We even had an engagement announcement that happened within the family.
That's
so
exciting.
that was pretty cool. And, yeah, we had a great time. Great time. How'd you guys
Not any of your daughters. We're not talking about
No,
that.
they better not. Not yet.
Not
I don't
yet,
think. Not
yeah.
that I know of. No,
Okay.
no, not them. But family friends. So Zach and Alex, congratulations.
Yeah, congrats.
It was awesome. How about you guys? You have a good weekend?
I did, yeah. I spent a lot of time with my nephews yesterday,
Yeah, I
which
saw
is
the
always
pics.
a blast. We did a more southern food type of day, so fried chicken, mashed potatoes, mac and cheese, all of that, which
Yum.
is some of my favorite food. Tons of desserts because they're more sweet eaters than I am.
Yeah.
But like 4 different cheesecakes, a couple different pies. It was a key lime pie, which I do love key lime pie, so I ate some of that. But yeah, it was nice. It was a good day.
Beautiful day.
Yeah,
The
a lot
weather
of
was
times with
great.
the Wild Boys, but
Yeah, the weather is changing rapidly.
Yeah, no
Yeah.
kidding.
So, yeah, be
What a
prepared for some
difference.
rain this week. Yeah,
Yeah.
I will say, so we decided to do a crawfish boil, and we didn't quite use enough spices as our first timers, but they were still delicious.
Yeah.
And got way too many crawfish, and as far as 20 pounds.
Oh my
So, I have leftover crawfish if either of you would like some.
if you will take them
crawfish.
apart for me. But
That's
Yeah.
true. Yes, I feel like that's the one part about crawfish is
Yeah.
you stand there for hours upon hours.
I just
Yeah.
get creeped
You
You
out
get
by
the
them.
hang of it, though.
Oh
Right?
yeah, it's easy. I
Just
think
gotta
it's
pinch
super
the tail,
easy.
rip
Yeah.
the head, pinch the tail.
Yep.
Do you do the juice out of the head or no?
When there's enough spice in there, I
Yeah.
absolutely do.
Yeah, it's good.
Since we didn't quite have enough spice, the
Yeah.
heads honestly weren't as good.
How about you? You suck the brains of a
No,
crawfish?
I like crawfish, but I don't like to see the creature. So so I will eat like crawfish dips, and like there was one of the breakfast places around here would do a crawfish breakfast skillet, and I loved that because it was just like the pieces of crawfish. But if I see the thing, I don't really like it. Somebody has to take it apart for me.
There you go.
I
Even
love it.
shrimp?
I don't like shrimp actually.
You don't like
it's one of the seafoods I don't like. I'll eat
Okay.
oysters and clams and mussels and
Yeah.
crab and fish and everything else, but shrimp is not.
But don't bring her the whole fish. She
Yeah.
does not want to
Don't,
see
I,
Yeah.
want, I don't want to see
I
the
wanna see the
eyeballs of the fish. I don't even like the shrimp when it still has the little legs on it. Like I don't
Right,
like
right.
that either.
Yeah.
Or calamari, I like it when it's just the rings, but if it I can
It's
see the
squiggly.
tentacles on it,
Yeah.
don't like it.
Yeah,
So it's weird. It throws
funny.
me off.
Good to know.
Yeah.
that's right.
If you're going to bring Taylor food, don't
yeah.
bring...
Make sure I don't
Bring it,
know
yeah.
what the creature is.
Yeah, exactly. All right, so what do you think Travon Walker had for Easter?
A lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of fun. A lot of celebration. Congratulations to that young man and his
Absolutely.
family.
That
It's-
news broke literally a few minutes after we went off
Yeah.
the air
On
on Friday.
Friday.
Stepped
Yeah.
into the office and it was like, oh, here's
Yeah.
Travon Walker.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think it's a good deal. It's a great deal for him. It's a great deal for the team. He could have gambled and said, I want to wait, see how I do this year and maybe make more, get in that 30 range. But he sounds like he's happy with where he's at. They guaranteed him a little bit more than normal, I think, out of the 110 total. 77 is guaranteed.
yeah.
So it's great. Listen, you got your 2 bookends. I feel it kind of just feels like he might play inside more than we're normally used to, although he played there a little bit last year. And by the way, the comment about, and you guys can back me up on this, where Liam's like, yeah, I want him to, be such a wreck in practice. We got to pull him. Like, nobody blocked him last year. What are you talking about? Nobody could block him in camp. Him and Josh. It was like, we were worried about our tackles. They're going to get killed all year because nobody could block these guys whatsoever. So I guess he's got to up it even another notch. He says he's going to take his game to another level. So that's cool,
Yeah, when Liam Cohen said he wanted him to be more like Aaron Donald and so dominant and things like that, that to me screams exactly what you just said, Tom. Like Aaron Donald is a defensive tackle. He's not an edge rusher.
He's a free technique.
Right. And so I understand he wasn't saying he wants him to be Aaron Donald. Yeah. But the first thing I thought was, okay, yeah, they are going to, similar to Georgia, they are going to move him around more and not just have him as an edge.
And Travon mentioned his versatility in this little press conference that he did, you know, or a little Q&A thing. So maybe there's something to say, whatever makes the team better.
Yeah.
I think from a contract standpoint, you would say as a D tackle, that's handsomely paid. And then as a pass rusher, you know, it's still handsomely paid, but
it's
maybe
not
it's top 10 and top 3.
Yeah.
I think it's 8th for the edge rushers, but 2nd for the interior defensive linemen.
And 8th, by the way, will not last long.
Yeah, there's going to be some other guys getting paid.
The next 2 pass rushers that get paid will get much more than Travon.
Yeah, which to me, and I saw Pete Prisco tweet about it too, saying kind of similar, where he doesn't think that Travon technically is that dominant pass rusher, just dominant pass rusher, and he thinks that we will see him a lot more on the inside, which I think could work if you have a guy that you can move around and you can think that plays multiple positions very well, and you can get that, you know, certain situations on the outside, but when you really need him on the inside, move him in there and get that interior pass rush, because that's something we've talked about so much, is not being able to penetrate in the middle, and that's been an issue at least consistently here in Jacksonville for a long time now. So if you feel like he can be that, and it seems by this number they do feel that, and some of these recent comments, it does feel like maybe that's where it's shifting a little bit, and that's fine. Put him where he plays the best, and I think that most people would be happy with that.
Yeah, I think the draft will tell us a lot. You know, if they go edge, you know, then maybe they're and again, I echo that. Put him on a guard. I mean, he is so athletic. Big, strong, powerful, quick, fast. But he's got he's not a natural pass rusher. He's gotten better throughout the years. I thought prior to last year in 24, his bend got a lot better. He was naturally getting around that corner. I felt like both him and Josh did a lot more bull rushing this past year. Not as many speed rushes around the outside, so to speak. But again, he's great against the run. He's dominant against the run. I'll give him that.
Absolutely.
You know, nobody pushes that guy around. He does penetrate, and if you can put him on the inside in a nickel, you know, situation where you got 4 down and he's one of the inside guys on the guards, heck yeah, I'd welcome that all day. As long as you got somebody outside of him that is as effective, and those two together, we know how that can work. So, but yeah, it's great. I think they're doing a great job. They're locking up the guys that love football. That love the team, that are going to play hard, that are they want to win. You never have to worry about Travon Walker showing up for a game or practice. There's no doubt about that.
And he played through 2 injuries this year.
Oh, he's a tough dude.
Yeah, I know the knock is because he only got the 3.5 sacks, but I feel like some guys would have been like, well, I'm too injured to play, and so therefore I'm not going to be out there to even get any sacks.
It's very. It's so hard to grab. Like with Eric, he had the ball, right? So he didn't even have his fingers. Travon had that for a bit, and then he got to use his fingers. But even with that wrist, I mean, as a pass rush, you got to be able to grab and pull and use leverage and get guys off. I mean, you can't do that without grabbing, you know, being able to use the grip of it. So you expect big things. Look, you're going to expect even bigger things, just like with Josh. You know, you get paid. Well, then you know, that what goes with that territory is that all around you're one of the top in the game. I will say, just looking at, because I was doing a little looking around, the QB hits for Josh Hines-Allen were near the top. Myles Garrett had the most, but I think he was 2nd or 3rd.
That falls under that pressures category, right?
Well, hits hit way more than for me anyway. Yeah. That means you're actually touching a quarterback and hitting them most of those times being knocked down. So if we can get both these guys together, add a third, maybe Eric, if he does stick around, you know, he's healthy.
Yeah.
And we get back to a pretty darn good pass rush.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if last year, if you did have a true edge, another third edge that could come in, if they would have forced him being out there, if you maybe let him rest a little more than what he did and get him healthier quicker, because obviously it was that wrist early and he had to have surgery, missed the game, then came back, and then it was a knee, and then he missed a couple games because of the knee. And so there were 2 different injuries, one early in the year and one later in the year. But even the wrist being taped up in that way, maybe they would have been able, if you actually had anybody else that could be on the outside getting pressures, do you let him sit a couple games? Because that is part of it. I mean, I think that yeah, you played 14 games, so people no matter what would expect more than 3.5 sacks just because there's guys that play half a season, 7 or 8 games and get more than that. Yep. So I think that's part of it, but I wonder if it would have looked a little different if they you just had nobody else on the outside that was able to get pressures because Agba didn't work out the way that you wanted him to.
You just named it. They thought Emmanuel Agba would have been that guy, whether inside or outside, if you need him, need to help. Yeah, and Smoot. But I think Agba, we all thought, man, what 5 sacks off the bench for Miami? You're thinking, we'll get that at least.
Perfect. Get us 4 or 5 or 6 and you're good.
We're good.
Yeah, the top 2 guys need to get double digits and then the other guys can sprinkle in even. And Armstead with 5.5 is still pretty good.
Yeah. And he was on his way maybe to 8, if he doesn't get injured.
Right. But when the edge guys aren't getting the double digits, that's when, the total sack production just isn't there. But Aiden Hutchinson, and we're always going to compare the two to this point in his career, even missing a portion of not this past season, but the season before with that leg injury, 43 sacks, Travon Walker, 27.5 sacks. Yeah. So that's why Aiden Hutchinson got a much larger contract with $180 million over 4 years.
That's why he is top 3 edge rusher paid.
Correct. And that's why Travon got, the 4 years, $110 million.
Trayvon was a project. There's no doubt. He knew he was going to play right away.
Taking a number 1 overall.
Yeah. I know, but you knew, and I think that it's that old adage that the NFL, the mistake sometimes is, look at this kid. Yeah. I mean, he's 6'6", 280. He's perfect.
Right.
Let me have him.
Right.
Let me get my hands on. I'll make him into a pass rusher. Sometimes that works out. So it felt like it was working out that way. So let's see him get back to some of that. Look, Hutchinson's just a pure pass rusher. Right. That's what he is. He can really rush the passer, and that's why those guys get paid multiple bucks in top of the line because they affect the game so much. When you hit the quarterback a lot, when you're sacking the quarterback, you are affecting that game big time. So that's why the big guys get the big bucks.
That is correct. All right, we'll let you hear from James Gladstone at the end of season presser on Travon Walker. Certainly gave us a hint that maybe this deal was going to get done sooner rather than later. That's coming up on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday. You can find them online, wekeepjacksrollin.com, or 6 locations around Jacksonville. It's 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Now, another classic moment in Jags history.
The ball comes out and it's picked up. The Jags are going to run it into the end zone. Josh Allen scores a touchdown.
1010XL.
The Jags are going to win.
Home of the Jaguars.
Longer days, warmer nights, and a backyard that brings everyone together. Spring and summer in Florida means pool days, backyard barbecues, and night swims under the stars. Picket here. For nearly 50 years, Surfside Pools have been creating the backdrops for life's best memories. From weekly service and repairs to remodels, commercial maintenance, and new pool construction, Surfside does it all. Ready to float happy? SurfsidePools.net or call 904-246-2666. Surfside Pools. Summer starts here. License number CPC 044080.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
Homeowners, ready to open your home to spring and shut out high energy bills? It's the 1 month only sale with Renewal by Anderson. Right now, buy one, get one 40% off windows and doors. Plus, 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. But this offer expires April 30th. Renewal by Anderson, proud partner of the Florida Gators. Visit bestwindowsflorida.com to schedule your free consultation.
License number CGC 1527613.
Go beyond spring cleaning this year. Get into spring organizing, and that's with help from Closets by Design. Lauren Brooks here. I just love our organized closets from Closets by Design. They create custom storage systems designed around how you actually live. From closets and garages to entertainment centers, laundry rooms, storage for every space and budget. Make an appointment today to tour their showroom on Phillips Highway and get 40% off plus an extra 15% off, free installation, and 18-month special financing. Schedule your free consultation at 904-878-9393 or find them online, closetsbydesign.com.
Ever have one of those mornings when you're trying to piece together the night before? Yeah, we've all been there. Now imagine that morning turned into a comedy. Morning After Grace is on stage starting April 9th at the Alhambra Theater and Dining. And it's smart, funny, and totally relatable. A night out that's equal parts laughs and insight. Get your tickets at alhambrajax.com. Alhambra Theater and Dining. Great food, great laughs, and a show you won't forget.
Listening that fits your schedule perfectly.
Absolutely brilliant.
Go on demand.
Ad-free shows after the live show's end.
How about that? Channel by
Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic and Air Conditioning. Search where you find podcasts.
It's the event everyone waits for. Now at Beard's Diamonds. Buy one, get one free on all wedding bands. Save up to $10,000. Beard's has case after case of designer bands for men and women. White gold, yellow gold, rose gold, titanium, and platinum. Buy his, get hers free. Buy hers, get his free. The big box corporate jewelry stores can't do this, but Beard's can. Buy one wedding band, get the second one free. Now through April 19th. Beard's Diamonds, your local jeweler at St. John's Town Center.
Hey, gang, Prosser here for my friends Chad and Sandy. What are your concerns? What struggles do you anticipate when it comes time to sell your home? What is it that bothers you? What's keeping you from getting max money as quickly as possible? Well, I don't know what those reasons are because I know they're all silly. Because Chad and Sandy have one down-to-the-line guarantee. Your home sold guaranteed, or they will buy it. It'll be at a price and a rate that you agree upon beforehand. So if you need to sell now, fast, easy, stress-free, and you need max price, then you need Chad and Sandy. The government's making moves intended to push mortgage rates lower. The last time rates dropped, we saw a selling and buying frenzy. Now's the time to prepare. It's time to call Chad and Sandy. Darcy in San Jose did. I wanted to move to a more walkable, vibrant area. Within 3 days of working with Chad and Sandy's team, I found the perfect home. They do it stress-free with a guarantee. Go to chadandsandy.com or call 414-6200. That's chadandsandy.com.
Bet on the ball game. Get your money down. Money lines, totals, and parlays. We're cashing tickets all around.
It's baseball betting season, and VSiN's MLB betting guide is a home run for bettors. Download your free special edition of the guide, featuring a betting preview of the Atlanta Braves and Tampa Bay Rays at 1010XL.com. That's 1010XL.com.
1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Gall, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. By the way, how was the Dad Bods show Saturday night?
Yeah, we had a great night. It was great.
Good.
Great weather, great show, great crowd. And we played right up until 11 o'clock.
Perfect.
We brought Champagne Supernova back, which was cool.
Love that. Did you also have champagne?
No, but I had some beers, I guess. The guitar on that song is just wicked good, and our lead he kills it every time. It's good one to end on.
Nice.
Tush was good. We moved that up. Man, What a Life, my song to my dad and out to my mother. God rest her soul. We did that early. That was kind of interesting. We didn't practice it, so we were a little off on it. But overall, it was a great night. Thanks for asking.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, man.
And you'll play again soon.
We play at Strings in Jacks Beach at the end of May 30th.
Okay.
So that'll be cool.
Mark your calendars for that.
Absolutely.
I figure we'll walk on down.
Yeah. Indoor, outdoors, different, right? It's different outdoors. It's different indoors. So indoors is always fun after you've been outdoors because it just sounds a little bit different.
Yeah, the acoustics are different. And also the end of May, air conditioning is also
will be nice.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
wonderful
that's
thing.
a good one.
That's for sure.
That'll help.
Yeah, so we're talking Travon Walker. Want people to hear from James Gladstone, but obviously, if you want to get in and give us your thoughts on whether you like the deal, don't like the deal, I think most people would say it's good for both sides. At least that was certainly my initial, and from listening to 1010 after the news and then today as well, I think most people will say, yeah, this is actually a better deal for the Jaguars, like long term, if Travon Walker can get back to those double-digit sacks.
Well, look, I mean, I look at Jalen Phillips getting what he got from Carolina, and he's
$30 million a year.
And his highest sack total is 8.5.
Yeah.
He's had 6 and 7.
Right, and you're paying for the future. That's what we always say, the projection.
So I thought if there was a deal to be done, it would have been higher.
Right.
But I like what look. There comes a time where you just gotta either gonna say this is good. I'm happy with this. This is plenty of money, or you gamble and risk what? And he just had 2 injuries, so he's probably like, oh man, I mean, like
what if I have another year?
What if I have another injury year and I'm 3.5 sacks again? Now they're thinking more like $22 million a year. You know what I mean? So I think it's good for both sides. I think you're not overpaying. It's a fair market value for what he's done.
When you're guaranteed $77 million, I feel like you can't really complain about that.
Way,
he got $50 million this past weekend.
He's going to be
Saturday.
He's going to be what, 28 when it's done? So he's still young enough to get another contract if he stays healthy. So I think it's a great move. And he's look. You want to talk about what's Duval and who's Duval? He's all Duval. That guy goes to work. He's very physical. You can see his passion. And fighting through injuries, man, that says a lot about a guy's character. Because a lot of guys can say, I'm too hurt. I'm going to just take care of this.
Yeah, he's a lunch pail guy.
Yeah, he is a lunch pail guy.
Now a lunch pail guy with a lot of money.
A lot of lunches.
A lot of, maybe the
pail is full.
Lunch.
Yeah, maybe you went from turkey sandwiches to some lobster, perhaps.
Yeah, right.
All right, so hit us up on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, 904-641-1010, or, of course, always on the YouTube chat line as well. But here is James Gladstone, the general manager, at the end-of-season presser when asked about Travon's season with those injuries.
Yeah, I think that's fair to ask. The thing that I really appreciate in watching Travon move is how much he loves this place, how much he loves his teammates. That just seeps out of his soul. And those are the types of people that you want to align yourself with. It's the type of players and that we want to make sure that are still in our building moving forward. And I know, obviously, dealing with injury, that's never easy for a player to tough through those types of things, especially when it's coming with a wrist and a knee simultaneously. It's not something that's easy, or many would be willing to put themselves at potentially risk for looking worse. And you wouldn't hold that against him. It's not something that's ever considered as long-term concern or anything of that nature. In fact, it's something that you would prop him up for, right? The willingness to step into that despite being sort of adverse situation, or your body's not feeling its best. That's stuff that he should take real pride in, and he's certainly somebody that we want to make sure we align ourselves with moving forward.
Well, you aligned yourself with him, that's for sure. Travon will be a Jaguar for at least the next 4 years, and hearing from him over the weekend too, he told his family early on, I want to be a Jaguar. I only want to be a Jaguar. And I feel like that's really interesting, Tom and Taylor, because nowadays with college football players, they move from, if they want to, they can move easily, obviously, from school to school. Trevon Walker played for one school all 3 years at Georgia, obviously. And so I feel like that's also the NFL model that he wants to take.
Yeah, and I don't, was the portal that thick back then when he was at college?
Not as much, but it was around.
Look, that probably factors into the deal. Like, hey, I just want to be here. Pay me good money. I'll be happy, and it's a lot of money, like we said, and I think it's a fair market. The market is what it is. So you can't you underpaid. It is what it is, and you could look at that a couple different ways and say they got a really good deal on him. And you could also say, well, if he moves inside, he got a really good deal too. So, and he's still got a good deal no matter where they play him. So, no, I think it's great. And look, loving again, that theme of we want guys that love football. We know what that means. That means you are fully dedicated. All you care about is being a great football player and being a good person. And that's what your livelihood is. And that's what Travon Walker is. You can see it in the way he comes to practice. We see him during camp. The games, his motor's all. Remember his rookie year, we had to tone down the motor. He's throwing quarterbacks down after the play and, getting these penalties. You're like, yo, Travon, the whistle blows.
Tone it down a tiny bit.
When you see him tackle guys, like especially if it's kind of more in a pile and you can't exactly see who's making the tackle, you can always tell if it's Travon, because to me it reminds me of like the videos when you see a shark like be able to attack something. Yeah, and I don't want to say a person, but obviously like some sort of creature in the ocean. That the creature just goes completely south. And when Travon tackles someone, even if I can't exactly see in that moment until the replay, like I can just tell that's a Travon Walker tackle.
And I think too when there's something a little extra with this too, because it's not the regime that drafted him. So on both sides of that, it's not, they obviously see enough in this, because we've had so many conversations of it's their guy or it's not their guy. There's not that extra attachment if you didn't go pay him in free agency or you didn't draft him. So there's that there. But then on the reverse side too, for Travon being able to want to stay here, even though it's not the regime that took him first overall. It's the organization, obviously, but there's a lot of newness since he was drafted here when it comes to obviously the coaching staff, even higher up now, the guys around him. And so I do think that is an even bigger indicator of that he did want to be here in Jacksonville and how much this regime thinks, like how high his ceiling actually can be, because it could have easily been like, look, like we didn't take you first overall and important for him to be like, it wasn't, you're not the ones who drafted. I don't want to play inside. I want to be an edge rusher, like, whatever the case may be. And they didn't. They obviously they live in this world now where they feel like this versatility is enough for this line. And I think that we've seen those back-to-back double sack, those double-digit sack seasons. Right. You want that again. Like I think people would want, especially now seeing him get paid this year, I think most people would kind of expect and want that to happen again. And then you're good. But I think there's a lot of respect on each side of this deal, and you can tell that.
I think Tony Baselli being here, Tom, is a huge part of that because, yes, it's two different regimes. However, Tony has been very close to this franchise for quite some time now, right? And so not just playing here, but also being in the broadcast booth and being around and having those connections. And so I feel like Tony also is a good linchpin for this organization, too, for the guys that this regime didn't draft.
Well, you saw the hug that him and Travon had out in front of the stadium, right? Mm-hmm. So to me, that looked pretty legit, like the genuine. So to me, he's a good buffer. Mm-hmm. He's a good liaison between the executives and the ownership and the players. And he could talk to the players as a player. He could talk to them about pretty much anything that involves.
Absolutely.
But yeah, no, I agree with you. And look, we live in a world, I think that, all these other stats. I mean, I know for fans, you want sacks, and we all do. And it does feel like when you don't get them and then you hear these other metrics, you're like, yeah, but they don't say that about TJ Watt. They don't say that about all the top guys. They're getting sacks. And, you know what I mean? So, but we do live in that world where versatile, win rate, pressure rate, all, these things.
Yeah. It's like who's getting double teamed, who's not. There's all these numbers you can calculate.
So we could sit there, like for Josh, you could sit there and be like, well, he only had 8 sacks, right? And James Gladstone might sit there and be like, yeah, but look at all the hurries, look at all the QB hits, look how he did against the run.
And that's
look
the other
how
part,
these misses, he just didn't have any help on the other side. You could maybe make a case. Yeah. As fans, we're just like, we don't care about any of that. We just want to see the number be the number, whatever that is based on your contract.
Nobody cares if Myles Garrett's good against the run, truth be told. It matters.
No, but he is.
As far as,
I
as far
understand. Right.
The stat watchers, box score.
They don't care how many pressures he has either.
Right.
Although there are a lot. I mean, he's got a ton of them. But maybe that's something that's changing in our world, unless you're getting a lot of sacks and you just say, I get a lot of sacks, but your little trap door is, but I also did other stuff, which is valid. It is valid. I mean, you want an all-around player. Would I love Travon Walker to average 12 sacks a game? Yes, I would. But
12 sacks a year. Yeah.
A year, a game.
Wow, that'd be really good.
Holy cow. That would be a lot more than that. Sorry.
We got to pay him more.
Yeah. But, just a year. I'll take 9 or 10 with an all-around really good player.
Yeah. 12 times 17 is 204.
Yeah, I missed
that.
So
then plus postseason, even more than that, 220-something.
Come on, get into it. You can do it.
Yeah. What's the most sacks ever in a career? It's over 200.
Has anybody gotten 200?
I think there's a few that have over 200.
Well, Deacon Jones claims he's got the most. They were keeping sacks when he was playing for a good part of his career.
Yeah, Bruce Smith has 200.
Does he?
So, I knew somebody had hit that number, but not obviously a lot. Reggie White has 198, and Kevin Green had 160.
Yeah, and all those guys were great all-around players. So, look, it's great. They locked up they got their guys. We'll see what happens on the interior, see how they address that, see if they add to the pass rush.
I'm ready for the draft to get here, by the way.
No, I know. Me too.
Give us the answers to these questions we've been pondering.
Yeah, well, it could go, it's kind of interesting. They could. I saw this one mock where they stick. And I think you might have mentioned it Friday, and I didn't capture it all. And then I read it today. I was like, I'd like that mock. That's pretty darn good. Where they don't 56, 81, 88, and 100. It was 3 defensive players and then a speedy wide receiver. I was like, that would look good. But I keep feeling like last year, the bold.
Right.
Is there a bold move in the back pocket of James Gladstone for this year? And if there is, who are you? Maybe not even the person, but what position are you trying to get? Well, what is it?
Giants defensive tackle Dexter Lawrence wants a trade. Yeah, so there's your bold move.
Oh,
I do see, I think that, let's say at 56, if it's edge, I think that answers some questions of what, either way, if it's edge or interior defensive line at 56, I think that answers some things for at least the Travon Walker side of what they're picturing. Because if you're using, that 56 pick, you're expecting that player to be immediate starter
for
and
sure.
making impact. So if it's an edge rusher, maybe you're seeing a lot more Travon Walker on the inside. If it's an interior guy, maybe they want somebody to just kind of bulk up that inside more and really lean into Travon on the outside. And so I do think we'll get answers on the very beginning of that day too, or if they move into the top of the first
I was
round.
gonna say, we just have to wait until Friday night as opposed to Thursday night. Dexter Lawrence, by the way, his season high sacks 9 in 2024 with the Giants. He had 9 sacks that season. So
He's just an all around,
he's a stud.
disruptor. That kind of guy is such a, which we feel a healthy Eric Armstead can be close to that, if not that. Or should be that.
Yeah, has been that in the past, but obviously a little bit older than Dexter.
Yeah.
Now he's in his 30s and Dexter's 28.
I think Dexter Lawrence only had a half a sack last year. I was seeing people talk about that. But I also saw that he had the highest double team rate in the NFL last year, over 65% double team rate.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
So that should be helping somebody else on that defensive line.
No doubt. Getting hit on both sides every play.
Yeah.
You're just about. That's fun.
Yeah. He says.
That's why he's got beef.
That's why I want
He's
out.
like, get me out.
Yeah, for real. All right, so we'll let you hear from Travon Walker on the other side. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
For the greenest, lushest lawn on the block, choose the local legends, Roundtree Sod. Don't just settle for ordinary. Let Roundtree Sod deliver you a picture-perfect lawn. To get a free estimate, call 7414-SOD. 7414-SOD.
Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
That's the buzzer. And on Hard Rock Bet, buzzer beaters mean bonus bets. Every time a team you bet to win or cover hits a game-winning buzzer beater, you score a $25 bonus bet. An extra $25 on top of your winnings. Just opt in and bet $5 on any team. As many teams as you want, all tourney. Win bonus bets at the buzzer. Only on Hard Rock Bet.
Payable in bonus bets, not a cash offer. Offered by the Seminole Tribe of Florida. Must be 21 plus and physically present in Florida to wager. Terms and conditions apply. Concerned about your gambling? Call or text 1-833-PLAY-WISE.
Hey, it's Matt Hayes. Tell me if this is you, because it's definitely me. I go to bed thinking, tomorrow morning, I'm going to wake up early, jump in that ice bath I just bought, have a good breakfast, go for a morning walk, and order a veggie for my side instead of fries. Then the morning arrives. I press snooze, skip everything else I planned because I'll do it tomorrow. But that's the Awaken 180 difference. Tomorrow is today. It's so easy. You want to do it. Your coach will be there to help you do it. You won't want to let her down. Accountability, ease, feeling great. That's the Awaken 180 difference. Now you can download an app, Google a weight loss plan, or buy the latest gadget. But who actually helps you follow through when you couldn't do it before? I lost 40 pounds with Awaken 180, and it was easy. No meds. I couldn't lose 5 pounds in a month on my own. Awaken 180 works, and it continues to work because it's set up to not let you fail. Succeed like we did at awaken180weightloss.com.
Daly's Dash is not only your Jaguars game day stop, but a great place to grab a meal any day of the week. To honor the Jags and the fans, we've crafted the Duval Sub. The Duval comes with freshly sliced turkey, ham, melted cheddar, and habanero jack cheese, topped with crisp lettuce, fresh tomatoes, and a double portion of our secret sauce, all served on a fresh roll. Come by your local's Daly's Dash today to get your delicious Duval Sub. Daly's is the official convenience store sponsor of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Welcome to Key Buick GMC, proudly family-owned and operated since 1943. Come see why they're North Florida's new and pre-owned truck center, conveniently located on Southside and JTB, just minutes from the St. John's Town Center. At Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Key Buick GMC, we are professional grade. Online at keybuickgmc.com. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drivetrain only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
You think you can crush some food? Time to flex. It's your main man, E to the T. And Team 1010XL is hosting the food eating contest at the Clay County Fair, April 2nd through the 12th. Enjoy the rides, enjoy the music, amazing food, and fun. Find out more at claycountyfair.org.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday around here. Taylor Dahl is here. Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Before we get to Travon Walker, I did want to mention that Taylor, at least for now, the Bulls get to keep Billy Donovan and my Gators get to keep Todd Golden.
There you go.
As North Carolina is set to hire longtime NBA coach Mike Malone. So we shall see how he does. RJ, you're our NBA expert. How do you think Mike Malone will do for the Tar Heels?
I think it's going to be interesting, certainly. I don't know if he has any background kind of doing like the college rank stuff. There was a report last week that he was being connected to the Orlando Magic job, just due to the fact that Jamal Mosley seems to be on the outs. If the Magic don't turn things around, maybe win a playoff series.
Right.
So this is something that's completely coming out of left field, maybe surprising everybody. So, no, I mean, I wish him the best. I know he'll probably have like a lot of NBA connections in which he'll be able to use in terms of, what he's going to do in terms of coaching staff. Maybe he hires a GM or something like that to kind of help out with all the things that he doesn't know as he continues to learn it. But I mean, I like it. It seems that this was going to be the route North Carolina was going to go, probably get like an NBA head coach, the NBA style of game. So
yeah, I feel like Billy Donovan would have made more sense because he has experience in college and has won national championships in college, obviously.
He said no to a lot of college jobs, hasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah, he said no to a lot of them. I think Billy, if you were to ask him, I think there was a report. I think he doesn't like management in Chicago right now, and as long as they stay there, he's probably going to find an exit strategy anyway. So
yeah, that would have been a good landing spot to me. The last time Mike Malone coached in college, by the way, was in 2001. He was an assistant.
Wow.
So it's been a minute, but yeah, we shall see.
Is North Carolina still a special college basketball school?
Well,
Blue blood or whatever you
everything
call
because
them,
of NIL now has changed, obviously.
That's
So
right,
yeah,
that's
you
right.
can have schools like Iowa State, Illinois, those types of schools.
Equated to, like Alabama used to be that in football.
Right.
Is it anymore?
Alabama now in basketball is catching up with a lot of these programs because they're able to spend those dollars. But yes, North Carolina, Kansas, Duke,
Still
those
the
programs.
Kentucky
has fallen off a little bit without Coach Cal, but UConn you have to put in there, obviously, these
with
days.
Hurley.
Once upon a time, UCLA. But yeah, I would say there's still that top tier. And look, if Todd Golden had been able to win it all again this year, Florida would obviously I would have mentioned them in that.
Yeah, throw that in there.
But but at this point in time, UConn is obviously knocking on the door of 3 national championships under Danny Hurley. We'll talk a little college basketball in a little bit. But let's get
Billy,
back.
Sorry, real quick, because I'm like, Billy, there definitely is some weird thing from the management, but he definitely keeps taking the extensions. He just got another one in July with the Bulls. He signs those real quick to get more money.
That's the smart thing to
Take
do
the money.
until they fire you. That's how it goes. That's for sure. All right, back to Travon Walker. What is he working on this offseason?
Number one, my main thing was just working on getting healthy, and then it's just fine-tuning those little small details within my hands, eye coordination, things of that nature. Just trying to keep my twitch as far as my strength, wrist mobility, working on a lot of things, but it's basically just kind of ironing out some small details. The further you get in your career, like it gets harder to, I wouldn't say it gets harder to continuously elevate. It's just like you got to find those little small little details within your game and continuously work those things.
Yeah, interesting that he missed or mentioned the wrist.
Yeah.
That must have been I think, more significant injury, even though we knew it required surgery. But he came back so quickly after. I think it was a more significant injury than we probably realized at the time.
Yeah, he's probably still rehabbing the wrist, and probably will have to. It's something you got to manage. When you get those injuries, they start piling up. You got to manage them. We see that in the those Netflix documentaries, all the extra work, not the working out, but the massaging and the cracking and, whatever, the scraping when they were scraping. Once his name's ribs, I was like, oh, it's got to hurt like crazy. You got to manage all those things. You get older, it's more about, because you're going to eventually, he's not there yet. He's still young. I mean, he's probably got a lot of time to where he's still in his prime athletically. But when that starts going the other way, you just got to get better at your craft, better at technique, better at setting guys up. He's talking about his hand-eye coordination, perfect, those kind of things. So what he's saying is like, I'm still me, but I'm trying to fine-tune some things so that I can continue to play at a high level.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
He's a guy that's always in I think, extremely good shape. I'm not worried about that when it comes to Travon Walker.
At 24 years of age, he should be.
Yeah. But, I mean, we've seen other guys that are young come in occasionally out of shape, and, you know, that's never a good sign.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you wonder, too, how much, because you talk about all of these things that he's listing, and the players, when you are injured, you have this wrist injury, and we saw throughout the season, then knee later, you're limited throughout the week, so you're not out there practicing normally, you know, how you really can, because they're trying to protect you as much as possible during that time. We saw how it affected Trevor a couple years ago when it was like it would just felt like injury, and then he wasn't able to practice during the week, and then so it just felt like things weren't quite clicking. So how much of the development was paused a little bit this last season because you were focusing more on trying to make sure your wrist is right and your knee is okay and you can play. And so I think it does limit certain things like that. So healthy season for Travon, you would expect that double digit back because of just that alone.
Well, just think about when you get hurt like that, like it's hard to lift.
Mm-hmm.
You know, your wrist is everything when you're lifting upper body, and if your knee's hurt and you're not really lifting legs, you know, so it's hard to maintain the strength throughout the. It's hard enough without injury to maintain it, but you know, you just think of that too, like any kind of pull and press, and that's got to be limited when you got such a sore wrist, you know, like even just benching, like you're military or anything, or even curling, grabbing the bar must be a problem. So you got to come up with using bands and doing different things.
Watch
it's just
out.
not the same.
Yeah, watch out with the bands. Don't let him hit your orbital bone.
But
like what happened to
he
AR.
seems like a guy that'll do whatever it takes to be ready. You know, you can see, and Josh too. They're pros in that way. They approach the game that way. They're gonna make sure that they're physically, mentally, emotionally ready to go. And as the older you get, the more, you know, just get more now he's real comfortable.
Yeah.
But you just get more confident, you get more comfortable, you know what you're doing, you know how to prepare, you know how to, you know, I've told you this before, when you get to a certain number of years in the NFL, even college, like maybe not college, but NFL, like you don't necessarily need your coach. You know, you want the game plan, you want them to critique you and all that, but you know how to get ready. Like you know how to, you know, prepare my body. I know how to get my mind right. I know how to get emotionally right, just because you've been doing it over and over and over again. So you see, I mean, 24, that's prime time. Are you kidding me? 24 to 28, the best years of Travon Walker are ahead of him, at least from a physicality standpoint. And look, that's why they locked him up. They know what's coming, or what they feel is coming, you know, in the future.
How many times a week do you lift during the season? Like once the
I always tried to do something a day, but it would be like something quick. It was funny. I would try to I'd eat lunch and then go do a back workout real quick, and then I'd be done. You know, Fridays we always did arms because they look good on Sunday. Gotta make the arms look good. It was so funny too, because first it was just me and Boyer, and then all of a sudden Logman was like, "Hey, what are you guys doing?" I'm like, "Yeah, we're doing arms. See, I gotta look good on Sunday." Like, you know, Baselli's coming over, everyone's doing triceps and biceps, and it was great. We grew to 10, 15 guys.
That's amazing. I never thought about
awesome.
that.
Yeah,
Do it on Friday, so that way they're
jacked up for Sunday.
I love that.
Heck yeah, man.
Speaking of that, the Jaguars strength and conditioning and performance science staff was named the Alvin Roy NFL Performance Team of the Year by the Professional Football Performance Coaches Association for their outstanding work, and the Jaguars equipment staff was named the AFC Equipment Staff of the Year by New Era for their work during the season. Yeah,
congratulations to all them.
Absolutely, everybody in the organization is working hard, and that's why that famous press conference from Shad Khan a few months ago now, when he was discussing, Trent Baalke was still the GM, and he was discussing, would you fire Trent? And he was like, well, what, you want me to just fire everyone? All the strength and conditioning people, all the nutrition people? No, that's not what we were talking about. But they do
yes, if it's not working.
If they need to be fired, then absolutely. All right, more to do on the other side. It's Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
The NBA is on 1010XL.
It's pedal to the metal towards the playoffs, and the Magic look to bring the spark against their Motor City foes in the Pistons for a duel that could have first-round implications.
Orlando Magic, Detroit Pistons, tonight at 7 on 1010 AM.
This is Mark Nato. My son Justin injured his hand playing baseball for JU. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists performed surgery just a few days later, and within 5 weeks, he was cleared to play in the ASUN baseball tournament. Our family has trusted Southeast Orthopedic Specialists for years. For any orthopedic injury, let Southeast Orthopedic Specialists take care of you too.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
It's a Helmets and Heels Big Chief Tire Monday.
Did you know your roof ages from the inside out? By the time you see a leak, damage already exists beneath the shingles. Sun exposure, humidity, and seasonal storms slowly weaken roofing materials over time. If your roof is 15 years old or more, then now is the time to start planning, not reacting. At Endless Summer Roofing, we provide professional inspections and clear guidance so you can make informed decisions. Visit EndlessSummerRoofing.com to schedule a free inspection. Endless Summer Roofing, protecting your home from Florida's endless summer.
Hey, Jacksonville, listen up. Termite swarms are active right now, and once they get inside, damage can happen fast. Termites don't knock. They silently attack the structure of your home, leaving behind costly repairs and long-term headaches. Lauren Brooks here. Protect what you've worked hard for with the proven protection that homeowners like me trust. Terminix sit with advanced termite treatment and prevention solutions. Visit Terminix.com today to schedule your free termite inspection.
Frank Frangie here for Coil Fencing. Since 1927, Jacksonville has trusted Coil Fencing to protect what matters. And I trust them too. From tough chain link to your commercial project to sleek aluminum fencing your HOA will love, Coil does it all. Did you know that Coil can also install, service, and maintain those automatic gates that help protect your neighborhood or business? To schedule a complimentary consultation, visit CoilJacks.com. That's COYLE Jacks.com. Coil Fencing, A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
What if every day felt like a private resort in your backyard? Premier Outdoor Inc., Jacksonville's #1 pool builder in the 2025 Best of Bold City Awards, creates entire outdoor living spaces, not just pools, custom pools, heated spas, summer kitchens, cabanas, fireplaces, screen enclosures, and more. Veteran and first responder owned, turn your backyard into an unforgettable retreat. See what you could build at PremierOutdoorInc.net. Premier Outdoor Inc., a visionary of hardscapes and aquatics.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I just got back from the farm at Okefenokee in Folkestone. Man, was I impressed. You have to see these handcrafted cabins. But act fast. On this 1,000-acre farm, there will only be 250 cabins. Each phase has jumped in value, so come get your lot and lock in your equity. Enjoy living in harmony with nature, going to the grocery store in your own backyard, and connecting with people grounded in food and purpose. Learn more at okefarm.com. That's OKEfarm.com.
Your AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
At G&H Tires and Service, the G stands for great pricing. The H, well, that means honest service. For over 20 years, Roger and his team have helped Jacksonville drivers stay safe on the road. Need brakes, oil change, AC not blowing cold? Well, how about a super affordable $36 oil change? Affordable brake jobs, AC checks before summer hits, alignments for all these construction roads, and even free check engine light inspections. Locally owned, community driven. G&H Tires and Service on Beach Boulevard.
What two vegetables are combined in making succotash?
When you file a claim with Southern Oak Insurance, we schedule one of our trusted vendors to work directly with you, which means a faster claim resolution. Find out more at southernoak.com.
Our family protecting yours. Southern Oak Insurance.
In order to make succotash, you'll need dry corn and dry beans. Suffering succotash was made famous by Sylvester the Cat.
Southern Oak Insurance. Our family protecting yours.
Southwest Greens is the OG of artificial turf in North Florida. Stop mowing and start chipping or putting or just relaxing with a beautiful backyard, maintenance free. Log on to southwestgreensofjacksonville.com to see what they can do to your backyard.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Big Chief Tire always brings our Monday programs to you. You can find them online. WeKeepJacksRollin.com. They do a fabulous job taking care of my vehicle. They have for years, multiple of my vehicles now over the time frame since they started on with us back in 2017. They have thousands of 5-star reviews, and they do a fantastic job, like I said. Time now for Tom's Takes.
Now, Tommy's Takes. Protected by Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com, or dial #law. That's all.
All right, my takeaways on this beautiful Monday. I got a gripe for just a second.
What? You never
I
complain.
do. I know, but I'm gonna this time because when I read it, and then after I read it, it really kind of ticked me off.
Okay.
On
We're here for you.
Friday, President Trump signed an executive order to regulate NIL collectives, limit transfers, cap player eligibility, and create funding requirements for Olympics and women's sports, allowing one transfer and give players 5 years to play 5 seasons. I'm not mad that he signed the order.
Okay.
I'm mad that you knuckleheads couldn't figure it out without the government getting involved. I mean, how stupid can you be? This is common sense stuff. It's not, you know what it is? It's greed. You're just a greedy bunch of, I wish I could say the word, but I can't on radio. I could on the internet. Maybe I'll save it. But it just, that irks me. Like, we've got to this point, and it sounds like, from what I'm reading, like, it's almost needed. Like, there's no way out. Like, we built this thing, and now we don't even know how to
you're stuck in it.
bring it together. And you're like, why'd you let it get so out of whack? And again, it's not, for me, it's not the common sense stuff is the eligibility and the transfer. Like, you should have, 3 transfers, get the
or more
out of here. Like, give me a break. Like, go home. Like, don't even go to another school. You don't deserve. It's just, to me, it's insane. And that they've gotten so deep that this is happening. That's the only reason I brought it up. It's not a political statement. It's got nothing to do with that. It's the fact that the leaders of college sports have allowed this to get to this point where the government's like, man, we got to do something. This is crazy. It's just so stupid to me. Like, get it together, college sports, for crying out loud. That's my takes for today. Brought to you by Morgan & Morgan, for the people.
That's the sad part is 10 years ago, we didn't have these issues. And I think most college coaches would tell you the NIL is not the issue. It's the transfer portal allowing them to be basically free agents every single year. As you know, Tom, the way that it was intended was your scholarship is for 4 years. And you have the extra year if you're going to redshirt, if you need a medical redshirt, if gray shirt, whatever it ends up being. You have the 5 seasons to complete those, those 4 or 5 years to complete the 4 seasons that you're going to play. And every situation, sure, is a little different. Oh, I spent time at JUCO, or I had an injury that lasted 2 years. I need another year. There's all those weird things. But the NCAA, for the longest time, at least was able to figure that stuff out. And we would laugh at how they would enforce some of the silliest rules. Like, I remember, this has probably been almost 10 years now, but there was a female student athlete on the campus of Oregon, and she ended up using like the campus water hose to clean her car. And Oregon got in trouble because she was using like the campus water. And I was like, that's what you're spending your time on? Like, that's insane. But now it's gone completely the opposite because local governments, like state governments, got involved. And because the state governments want their state school to be successful in sports. So therefore, that's why we had this Charles Bediako debacle this season of a guy that declared for the draft, the NBA draft in 2023 on a roster and playing basketball.
Right.
That's insane, but it's because government got involved.
Yeah, it swung too far, and I think there's a middle ground, and they haven't been able to figure that out for whatever reason. To your point, Tommy, it feels pretty obvious. Like, it feels what the middle ground should be, and it's similar to what was just said. But we lived in this world for so long where it was like, if you transfer, you have to sit a year. And there was the few exceptions, but even that didn't get approved all the time. So it was kids moving because of parents getting sick or their coaches that they committed to left. And like all of these things, and some kids would not have to sit the year, and some kids would have to sit the year, and then you couldn't make any money. You couldn't use a water hose. You couldn't get crab legs from Publix. You couldn't
you gotta pay for those.
Yeah, those were stolen. Hang on.
No, they gave them to him, and he's not allowed to accept anything. Florida State tried to protect themselves in that situation, but I think that it swung too far because they were like, okay, this is too crazy, which it was. Like, it was too far the other way for a really long time, and so they're like, all right, we need to fix this. These kids deserve to be able to transfer. These kids deserve to be able to make money. These kids deserve these certain things. But instead of saying, let's slide it a little bit and figure out this middle ground where both people win, it went the complete opposite way.
Yeah, and
it got way out of hand.
To me, part of it falls under that whole everybody deserves a trophy. Like, I went to JUCO for 2 years. Too bad.
Yeah.
Like, what do you want me to do about that? Give you 2 years in college because you had to go to JUCO for whatever reason. Maybe it was your grades, or maybe you got in trouble. Whatever. You got it together. Now you get 2 years to go play, or 3 years to play 2 years. That's the deal. I'm sorry. If you get hurt, people get hurt. That doesn't grant you another year just because you got hurt. It sucks. but it's part of the game. You know, guys get hurt, they come back, they miss a year. Now, there should be some exceptions to the rule. I get that. Coach gets fired. Hey, I gotta leave. Okay, fine. No big deal. Maybe they used to have that medical red shirt. Okay, maybe one time. The transfer is ridiculous. I mean, 3 different schools or more. Like, give me a break. Like, come on, man. Just stick to your school.
What I never understood is if the point is to get a college degree, you're certainly not on the right path if you're transferring school to school.
All those
because
credits
your credits
and everything, right.
That used to matter. I did look it up. It was not an actual like Oregon student athlete, but someone from the West Coast Conference. It was a golfer. She washed her car on campus and her school self-reported it as an NCAA violation, which it ended up not being, but that was the headline that I remember. And that was back in 2013.
What a sanctioning body you are. Way to throw your weight
But
around.
we've said this so many times. We need an NCAA powerful commissioner that cares about the important things and that's able to have some or institute some rules that everyone follows. It's really not that hard.
You can still have your cake and eat it too. You can still get paid. You still can do those things. You still make money.
Right. You can transfer one time.
There's just got to be some parameters. It can't be everyone just go wherever you want, whenever you want.
Exactly.
And I think there should be some. The poaching bothers me a little bit. Like, come on. I'm a head coach, and I got to worry about some coach from somewhere else calling my guy direct and saying, hey.
when they're not even in the portal.
Right. And then just trying to persuade them. I don't think you should be able to do that.
And they're trying to crack down on that, but coaches don't believe that's going to happen. I mean, it is getting out of hand. All right, Lauren's Lane on the other side. Don't go anywhere. It's Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
Is there anybody here can tell me where happiness comes from?
1010XL.
Anyone? All right.
1010XL.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins. Fighting for your rights since 1975.
Helmets and Heels.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
Game on, poker and sports fans. It's basketball time at Best Bet St. Augustine. Come join the excitement, watch all the tournament action on our big screens, and enjoy the game day specials at Aces Sports Bar. Ready to win? Play one of our exciting table games like Ultimate Texas Hold'em, 3-card poker, or Pie Gow, and claim your winnings. For more information, visit bestbetjacks.com. That's bestbetjacks.com.
The boys are back in the kitchen.
Don't start the barbecue without me.
Joe, Matt, and Leon give you plenty to chew on during lunchtime. Freshly baked bread from the big #1 Duval Ford Studios.
Thank you for lunch, boys.
Noon to 2 weekdays on 1010XL.
I'm here with Danny Van Sickle, director of the Electrical Training Alliance. Danny, tell me about your program.
Hey, Rick, we're a 4-year electrical apprenticeship. Our students start out making over $40,000 a year and right now make over $90,000 a year, including benefits. There is no tuition or student debt. You just have to apply and get accepted.
Did you say no tuition and no student debt?
You heard that right, Rick. Once you're accepted to the program, your only cost for the books and the course fees. About $800 a year.
That sounds like an amazing opportunity. How can I learn more?
Just go to etajax.org and you can apply there.
Apply by May 14th.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. By now, everyone has heard about saving money on their energy bills. There are all sorts of things you can do to cut energy costs, but most people don't think about their windows.
But Window World knows that the biggest energy loss in almost every home is the windows. There is more energy loss from old builder-grade windows than just about anything else in your home.
You can upgrade your heating and air, your appliances. That's good too. But before you do all that, upgrade your windows to Window World's energy-efficient windows.
Window World's windows are easy to clean, energy efficient, and have the best guarantee in the business.
Window World's slogan is simply the best for less, and we mean it. You get great American-made windows, and you get to keep more of your money when you buy from Window World. Need any more reasons to buy your windows from Window World? Call them today and set up your free in-home estimate, or go online to windowworldneflorida.com.
Window World, simply the best for less.
Thank you for your business.
Window World also offers energy-efficient doors.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Owning a house is kind of like being in an argument with your house.
One day, it's the AC saying, I'm tired. The next day, it's the plumbing going, good luck finding that leak. Then the septic system joins the conversation. And nobody likes what it has to say. That's when you call Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. One team that handles all three: plumbing, septic, and air conditioning. So the next time your house tries to win the argument, call Duck Duck Rooter. 904-862-6769 or duckduckrooter.com.
Ever have one of those mornings when you're trying to piece together the night before? Yeah, we've all been there. Now imagine that morning turned into a comedy. Morning After Grace is on stage starting April 9th at the Alhambra Theater and Dining. And it's smart, funny, and totally relatable. A night out that's equal parts laughs and insight. Get your tickets at alhambrajax.com. Alhambra Theater and Dining. Great food, great laughs, and a show you won't forget.
Need protection? Call Craig and Christine Kaprosky at Goosehead Insurance. The Kaproskys are a husband and wife team committed to finding you the right coverage at the right price in just a few short minutes. For home, auto, flood, or specialty insurance, Craig and Christine Kaprosky are the answer. Craig.Kaprosky at Goosehead.com.
La playa is Spanish for the beach. If you can't remember that, the word Corona also works. Corona, La Playa awaits.
I'm Max Fink with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by Gate Stores. Florida Gators center Ruben Chinulu has been awarded the Naismith Defensive Player of the Year award, the first ever Gator to win it. This Saturday, the annual Orange and Blue Gators spring game returns to the airwaves of 1010XL, 92.5 FM at 12 p.m. for the first look of the team under Coach John Summerall. It's 65 degrees at 3 o'clock time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Welcome back into Helmets and Heels on this Big Chief Tire Monday. Let's get it back to the NFL because a lot of people are starting to ask about Dexter Lawrence and would the Jaguars potentially trade for him. So time now for Lauren's Lane.
Now, Lauren's Lane. Opened up by Closets by Design. Imagine your home totally organized.
Yeah, people are asking on the text line designed by Lifetime Enclosures, asking on the YouTube chat line, like, can the Jaguars get Dexter Lawrence, the defensive tackle from the Giants? Here's what I have to say about that. I think it's going to provide, or it's going to require too many resources that the Jaguars don't have right now. We're seeing probably late first or early second round pick. Jaguars unfortunately don't have that because obviously they traded up to get Travis Hunter last year, and therefore they gave away last year's second round pick, this year's first round pick, and so they pick at 56. I don't know that the Giants are going to want pick 56 for Dexter Lawrence. That's the hard part, everybody.
Yeah. Well, could you package some picks together and get them? I don't know. Who knows?
Like all three third rounders.
Well, whatever. Whatever it takes. And I won't steal her thunder, but Taylor was telling us some stats when he's in the game and when he's not.
Yeah.
It's like night and day.
Yeah, I saw one on Twitter that was posted, and so it did the comparison of the time that he was on when he's off the field compared to on the field, the defensive stats for the Giants. And so when he's off the field, they're 32nd in yards per attempt, 31st in pressure rate, 31st in pass success, 30th in EPA per pass, and 30th in sack rate. When he's on the field, they've been number 8 in pass success, number 8 in sack rate, number 10 in EPA per pass, 13 in yards per attempt, and 15 in pressure rate. So one player making that sort of impact is pretty wild. That's a player that's making an impact in a lot of different ways.
Yeah, John Harbaugh says he's a very big stone, a very active, athletic big stone. How about that? So he's not only a cornerstone, he says, he's the rock of a defense.
Yeah.
I don't think could we say that on anybody on our defense right now?
Was the rock of it?
The cornerstone?
Probably not one person.
Yeah, I'd say Devon Hamilton played really well against the run last year, but I wouldn't necessarily say like without him the defense would fall apart.
Yeah. No, well,
those numbers, you wouldn't be able to do that. Like, you pull Devon Hamilton out, and you're not seeing that significant of a jump between everything when it comes to the whole defense.
I'd say statistically, Josh Hines-Allen had the best year, but his year wasn't, and he's obviously a different position, playing a different position than Dexter Lawrence.
Well, and this guy, he's not, he's clogging up people, and he's making plays when they're near him. and he's pressuring the QB.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like
all of it.
you get all of. I mean, even with the pressure rate, they go from 30th to 8th when he's in there, which means not just him getting the pressure, he helps everybody around him get the pressure because they got to double his big ass and free up
I mentioned
the
that
outside
earlier. Over
guys.
60% double team rate, and you're still able to do that.
Yeah, right.
That's wild.
Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, is he a guy that, if he joined us right now, he would be like if Max Crosby joined us, I think we'd all be like, oh, we're a Super Bowl contender. If Dexter Lawrence joins us, are we an automatic Super Bowl contender?
I don't know, but I
think
say automatic, but I'd say definitely closer. Yeah.
And I do think you would say he would become the best defensive player immediately right now. Could that change? I think so. I think that depending, I think in the next 4 or 5 years, it may switch to Travon or Josh Hines Allen or something like that. But I think
Travis Hunter.
or Hunter. But right now, at this point in time, I think most people would be like, oh, now they have the star on their defense to clog things up.
I mean, look, what'd they say? Low first, high second? What do we got? A mid-second?
Mid to late second.
Mid to late
second. I would say more late second. So there were
early thirds.
The round starts at 33 and we pick 56.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah.
20 in.
Yeah, I did because I saw another report that the Bears called the Giants and asked what it would take, and they said a late first, at least.
And again, that's what the Jaguars don't have. But I understand why everyone's asking the questions of can the Jaguars potentially get him? They've made bold moves in the past, obviously. And James Gladstone and company are always hunting up. That's their phrase. Are always hunting up, adding good players to the roster. So certainly, if anything changes, we will let y'all know.
Well, let's hope the 28th pick isn't going to be sent to New York, so he goes to the Houston Texans because they're a late first round. I'm looking at late first round.
Sure.
I'm like, I'd take him if I was. I mean, New England's got 31st pick. Not that they need D lineman, but you had a guy like
not that the Texans do either, but still.
Yeah. No, right.
You always want to get improve your football team and get better. That's for sure. By the way, in college baseball, UNF improved to 18-14 overall, 10-2 in ASUN play.
Nice.
For the Ospreys, they won the series against Queens. They are next at West Georgia for a 3-game series beginning Friday at 6. So no midweek matchup for either UNF or JU. JU is now 15-17, 4-8 in the ASUN. They won 2 out of 3 against Stetson. Next up at Florida Gulf Coast for a 3-game series beginning Friday at 6:30. Here's the interesting part. Florida fell to 24-9, lost 2 out of 3 against Ole Miss this past weekend in Gainesville. But they're ranked 7th in the country. So they improved in rankings. Don't ask. I don't know. So Florida's 7th. The final matchup with Florida State is tomorrow night. Florida State is now ranked 4th in the country. That game is at 7 p.m. in Tallahassee. And then this weekend, Florida is at Georgia. Georgia ranked 21st in the country. And FSU is now 24-7 overall, 16-2. FSU won 2 out of 3 at Virginia. That was at the time ranked number 10. Now they're ranked 12th. And then this upcoming weekend, another top 10 matchup for FSU as FSU is on the road at Georgia Tech. They are ranked 10th in the country beginning at 7 p.m. So you've got a ranked matchup between Florida and Florida State tomorrow night. You've got the ranked matchups between Florida and Georgia this weekend, and then also between Florida State and Georgia Tech. Interesting stuff. And then we are mortal enemies, sports-wise, at least for this next 3 days, as the Rays play host to the Cubs. It is the Rays opening game at the Trop this season, so they returned to the Trop after playing at a spring training ballpark last year. Eric Church is doing the national anthem.
Oh, fun.
For the game. Yeah, in Tampa. So I love that. And yeah, as far as the records go in Major League Baseball, Taylor, both teams are 4-5, which if you're in the Rays division, that has you tied for second. If you're in your division, that has you last.
Yes. Yeah, it has not been the greatest start. And I was telling you guys on break, the Cubs lost 2 of their top pitchers. Justin Steele's still not back, and then now Matthew Boyd and Cade Horton. I think Cade Horton's going to end up having Tommy John. They haven't announced it, but it's taken 5 days to get an MRI results back, which usually doesn't indicate very good things. So I'm a little worried about that. Yeah. Well, it was like arm soreness is what they said when he left the game, and then we haven't heard anything else. And then they asked him, and he was like, "Oh, I'm optimistic," but they always say that. So probably another one, and then they don't get Steele back until late May, early June. So now the top 3 pitchers in their rotation are all going to be out. So that's not fun.
No, that's not fun. For tonight, we have Jamison Tyon, the former Pirate, versus Shane McClanahan, who we talked about a lot last week. He was the Rays ace and then ended up with 2 Tommy Johns and then some nerve soreness as well. There are 3 teams, Tom McManus, that are tied with 7 wins, which of course leads Major League Baseball. The Dodgers, you'd expect. The Yankees, you'd expect. And the Brewers.
Yeah. Which have been good lately, haven't they? Yeah.
No other team has gotten to 7 wins. And then, do y'all want to hear about gymnastics? It was a very exciting meet on Saturday night.
Let's go on the pommel horse.
That's not one of them, but yeah.
The vault.
That's right.
I mean, the vault.
The vault.
Vault, uneven bars, balance beam, floor.
Right.
Those are your 4 events.
That's right.
But yeah, Florida did advance to the national championship semifinals, so that is great news. They advanced out of the Tempe region along with Georgia. So both Florida and Georgia will be heading to Fort Worth, Texas. The other teams, LSU and Stanford, they were able to get out of the Baton Rouge regional, which again, I told you I don't know how LSU gets to compete in Baton Rouge, but that's neither here nor there. Oklahoma and Arkansas advanced out of the Lexington regional, and UCLA and Minnesota advanced out of Corvallis. So here's what's interesting. In basketball, we always talk about the seeds, right?
Mm-hmm.
So your seeds that advanced 1, 2, 3, 4, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Then 6, 7, 9, and 13.
Oh, wow.
So lots of teams that certainly expected to be there will not. We have national semifinals coming up, not this Thursday, but next Thursday at 4:30 and at 9. We won't know until closer which one Florida's in, but Florida will be competing with LSU, Stanford, and Georgia. So 2 teams Florida's very familiar with, obviously in LSU and Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so the hopes of a national championship for my team are still alive.
Yeah.
That's
and
the important part.
those gymnastics, they're special because they got to go to class still.
They do. They actually are
still going to class.
Trying to get degrees.
Yeah,
Some of them masters, like Leanne Long, when she was at Florida, she was able to get her master's.
Yeah.
She owned her own company too.
All right.
Which was really impressive. Yeah, she was able, pretty much before NAL, she was able to become very successful because she created bows for their hair.
Okay.
And was able to start a global company.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good for her.
Kidding. That's cool. Yeah.
And then, of course, you throw NIL in as well.
Yeah, right.
All set, I feel like, for her.
Absolutely. All right, that's your wrap on gymnastics. I will, of course, update you after next Thursday, but don't be alarmed. No more gymnastics until then.
It's okay. I got good visions of gymnastics people going. The girls jumping. Twirling and bounding.
I just love your brain. I know. All right, more of a Big Chief Tire Mondays on the other side. They've been in business for over 60 years and they're family owned. They are the absolute best and they do a ton for our community as well. It's 1010XL on 92.5 FM.
Now, Studio Talk with Dan Hicken and Jeff Prosser.
We are them. It is we. Us. We are.
The Drill.
He is one brother, and I am the other brother.
Mornings on 1010XL.
We got different mothers.
Frank Franzi here for South State Bank. At South State, they believe strong relationships build strong businesses. That's why they take the time to understand your goals, challenges, and vision, so they can provide solutions tailored to your needs, like they've done for me for years. South State has always been there for our business and our charity. With a team you can trust and a commitment to personalized service, South State Bank is here to be more than your bank. They're your partner in business. Visit southstatebank.com. South State Bank, member FDIC.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
Hey, Tommy Mack here. When it comes to glass, you don't want average, man. You want flawless. Duval Glass and Mirror has been transforming homes and businesses across Jacksonville for over 35 years. Frameless showers that wow, mirrors cut exactly to your style, fogged or broken, glass replaced, decorative tabletops, windows replaced or repaired to stand up to our Florida storms. All backed by a 100% guarantee, baby. Visit DuvalGlass.com for your free quote today. Only one name for glass and mirror around here, and it's Duval.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists congratulate the 1010XL Scholar Athlete of the Week.
Jada Mincy, senior cheerleader, weightlifter, and track and field athlete at First Coast High School. She's the president of the National Honor Society and has been accepted to attend FSU.
What if the next roof you put on your home was the last one? Not another replacement in 15 or 20 years, the last roof. Metlock Roofing is Florida's only manufacturer and installer of this exclusive roofing system. Engineered for strength, built for Florida weather, backed by a lifetime warranty. Imagine never needing another roof. Call 938-9933 or visit metlokroofing.com. Get your last roof today with Metlock. License number CCC 1335581.
I used to dread going to the dentist. Every visit felt like a sales pitch with constant upselling, surprise fees on my bill, and I could never get in when I needed to. But Harbor Dental Care? Totally different. They saw me the next day, gave me honest pricing up front, and even set me up with a payment plan I could actually afford. No pressure, no surprise charges, just kind people who get it. If you want to experience dentistry the way it should be, book your appointment today at harbordental.care. That's HARBOUR dental.care.
I know you love sports, so why not take that passion and make a difference in your community as a volunteer coach with the YMCA? Whether it's soccer, basketball, volleyball, or flag football, the Y is always looking for positive role models to help kids grow in both skills and character. Even if you've got no coaching experience, that's fine. We'll provide the training. Step up, give back, and be the coach that makes a difference. To volunteer, visit your local Y or fcymca.org.
Hi, I'm Amber Frangie. By now, you've heard the story. How I heard about how much weight some of my dad's friends at the radio station lost with Awaken 180, so I wanted to try it myself. Well, the truth is, it's really incredible. I just met with my Awaken 180 coach, and I've now lost more than 150 pounds. That is a real number, not an exaggeration. Some of you may think, wow, if she lost that much, how much had she gained? Well, that's a story for another day. But what I can tell you is Awaken 180 has changed my life, and maybe saved my life. I thought I might have been at a point of no return, but with Awaken 180, you never are. There's no medications, no fad diets, just a coach you meet with weekly who you can trust, a meal plan that makes sense, and that you'll enjoy. It's honestly a miracle. If you want to lose weight, even if you have a lot of weight to lose like me, Awaken 180 truly is the way to go. If that's where you are, try Awaken 180 today.
I'm Frank Frangie, but take it from my kid. If you want to lose weight the right way, call 1-844-346-1800 or visit awaken180weightloss.com.
Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah.
Hey there's all. Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you on this Big Chief Tire Monday. You can schedule your next appointment. WeKeepJacksRollin.com. So tonight, UConn versus Michigan tips off at 8:50 p.m. Eastern. So I want to ask y'all, you were asking earlier, Tom, about the blue bloods in college basketball and things like that. Do people that are not big college basketball fans care about Danny Hurley? Like the way his antics and how he is? Like, obviously, I dislike his personality, but it also affects me as a big college basketball fan. Yeah. And obviously, UConn has knocked Florida out long before Danny Hurley was there. But in 2014, out of the Final Four, that Patrick Young, obviously, season, his final season, do people dislike Danny Hurley, or is it more you have to be a college basketball fan to care?
Yeah, my assumption, and this is just by conversations with people I've had that maybe aren't as, they're more so like Tommy and I, where it's like once March Madness starts, we'll start following and we enjoy it, but we're not like watching in
November.
In November and December. I think people like it because people like personalities, and so if you don't have a reason, like if that team's not, you don't have a team that's getting beat by him, it's kind of fun to see his interaction. And just, I saw on Twitter the one, I don't remember which game it was, but he kind of got in the referee's face and there was all of that. And like most of the posts I was seeing about that was like this coach energy is what everybody needs. Like, you know, back up your players, back up, like have this kind of spark. So I think that from the outside, if you don't have rooting interest, people like it because they just like personality. And that's one of the, I feel like if you're talking about coaches, the Duke game. Yeah.
It was when, right before the ending of the game.
Yes.
He like kind of
like head to head. I know.
The ref.
Yeah. I like him. I like his energy, you know, and I don't have a dog in the fight, so I don't really care.
Although you do now,
Well, I do now because his assistant is now. I got to get his first name. I know it's Bill Murray's son. Did you know that? It's the actor's son.
Yeah.
Who's taking over the Boston College basketball program? So that'll be it. No, I like it. Look, he's got kind of swag. He's a little cocky,
Luke
Murray. Thank you very much. Good luck, Luke. We'll be pulling for you.
Will you start watching in November now?
What?
Will you start watching in November?
I mean, I'll keep an eye on it, I guess. One eye open.
That's how I always determine if you're a college basketball fan. If you're watching college basketball when football season is still ongoing, then you're a college basketball fan.
No, I'm keeping an eye on it. Means like looking at the box score kind of thing. Yeah, with one eye.
Did we win or lose?
Yeah, exactly. But no, back to Hurley. I could see how some people might not like the swag that he has. He's a little in your face kind of deal, but I don't know.
He's a
I kind
screamer.
of like it. Yeah. I mean, when you win, I don't, I guess if they were losing, I'd be like, shut up. Like, who wants to hear you talk, But when you're winning, he might put up with some of that stuff.
Yeah, I mean, he's knocking on the door, like I said, UConn 3 out of 4, which would be unbelievable. And then on the other side, I feel like if Dusty May hadn't coached in the state of Florida and been a Mike White assistant, I feel like most people, unless you're a Michigan fan, wouldn't really even know who Dusty May is. But he's risen so quickly. And our friend Trent Osborne is going to the game tonight.
He is going to the game. Yeah, Michigan fan. And
That's awesome.
That's what I think that it's one of those, I feel like Dan Hurley may be one of those people where if he's your coach or you haven't been like personally victimized by his teams beating you, then he's likable. But if it's and there's players like that, whether it's in college basketball or football, where it's like you don't like them if they play for somebody else, but the moment they'd be on your team, we're like, all right, I like when, I like the chirpiness if it's for your team.
Didn't
and
that
like they're
happen
defending your guys.
With an NFL player, and you did not like him at all, and then he ended up on the Bears?
CJ Gardner-Johnson, but I didn't even really like him last year. I just kind of had a root for him sometimes, and I was like, okay, if you're getting a couple interceptions, I'll like you, but I still don't like that personality. Isn't what I like very much. It was like Jalen Ramsey-esque here too. But I think that it's one of those where it's kind of like if you have any sort of personal, whether it's your team's lost or you have to worry about him in your conference or whatever the case may be, that's probably not very likable. But then if he was your coach, you'd probably get behind it because you're like, oh, like this is fun and he's fiery and he's a little extra. And then for me, it's like Michigan. I don't like Michigan as a Notre Dame fan. I don't like Michigan, but it also is like this kind of the Big Ten hasn't won since 2000. So there's this weird where I'm like, God, it'd be kind of cool to see the Big Ten win. And
the Big Ten thinks it's better than the SEC right now. So
they do. Well, they've been better.
Basketball.
Yeah. When I think of Michigan,
Especially
I think of the Fab Five back when, that was. But they're a tough team, man. I remember only watching a little bit. I'm like, they all look like they're way past college age. It seems like they look like a street tough, but also, just a really
for UConn,
good
you're
discipline.
saying?
Michigan. No, for
Michigan,
Michigan they just look kind of rough and tumble, but got it together. UConn.
I didn't think anyone would blow Arizona out. I thought it would be a back and forth game that goes down to the wire, kind of like we saw, with a lot of the games that Florida, won last year. They were come from behind wins, but they were still close.
Yeah.
And that's where I thought Michigan, Arizona, I thought it was going to be like 98 to 97, that type of thing.
Right.
And the fact that they won 91-73 was absolutely
total
wild.
control.
And
both games were like that.
Yeah.
I thought Illinois would give UConn a better game.
I thought so too, but you could tell early on. I don't know if it was nerves for Illinois or
the young guards,
something along those lines. But I was like, oh man, UConn is in the driver's seat, and once they, I feel like, smell blood in the water. A second shark reference on this program. Once they smell blood in the water, it's just one of those things where like So I feel like tonight it's going to be really important to see who's leading at halftime. If UConn is up by like 6 points or more, like I would not be surprised if UConn wins it all.
To me, it feels like one of the ones where if UConn wins, it's going to be by like a buzzer beater. They win by like one or two at the end. If Michigan wins, I think, which I feel I'm leaning towards Michigan. I just feel like they're way more dominant, and everybody they've faced this entire tournament, they've pretty much just rolled right over, including Arizona. And that was the one to me where I was like, if they can roll over Arizona, I feel like they can do that to anybody. So
and Alabama, who scored 100 on basically everybody all season long.
And so to me, it kind of feels like if UConn wins, it ends up being a close one, and they win in some like buzzer beater or some last minute something. And it's really close, but I'm more so leaning Michigan wins by a good amount.
The big men are gonna bang tonight. They're gonna get after it tonight. I can't say I'll be watching it, but I'll see the highlights in the morning. What time they tip it off? 9?
Almost just before 9.
I might see a tip off.
Yeah,
I'll probably watch the tip off.
Indianapolis. Yeah, you'll make it to that.
I tried. Listen, last night I tried. My wife and youngest daughter, they wanted to watch the Janet Jackson documentary.
Okay, haven't seen it.
And like 5 times in a row, Christine's like, "You're snoring again." All right, just give me one more chance. What? Just give me one more chance. Finally, Harley's like, "Dad, go to bed. Like, just go to bed." I'm like, "All right, I'm out of here. I'll see you later. Gotta go." It was like 9:30. It wasn't like too early, but it was. Listen, we started
give me
early.
One more chance. That's what I'm laughing at.
I'll try again.
Give me another chance. I'll try to stay awake.
Like, there's no chance. Once anyone falls asleep on the couch, there's no chance they're gonna just back up and be like, I'm here.
Good.
I'm in it to win it.
Second win.
Yeah, no, that is not happening.
I do feel like, Tommy, you're one of those people, like you're go, go, go. And then the moment your body stops, you're like, it's over.
It's weird. No, it's so true. Cause like, I could be tired, like say at night, and then if we went to Monkeys and shot pool, I'd stay up. I wouldn't be like sleepy. I'd be like, all right, I'm up. But the minute
If you're
I
sleeping
sit
at the
down,
bar, it's time to go home.
I don't sleep at the bar. I know when to go home. No, if I sit on the couch, forget it at night. It's just, especially after I eat, and there's all those whatever gets you tired. But yeah, my brain's like, all right, we're done. We're done for downtown. Yeah, be like, I think we're done.
Yeah, go relax.
All
yeah,
right, see you later.
if I'm at home, there's no chance I'm seeing midnight. But if we're out and having fun, live music and whatnot, then it's perfectly
no
fine.
doubt, no doubt.
All right, I want to go back to the NFL because obviously we've been talking about Travon Walker, who got the extension.
Yeah.
He officially signed that on Saturday, and then also Dexter Lawrence potentially on the trade block, or at least he has requested a trade. How much money is he going to want?
Well, supposedly he wants it. That's what the whole problem is. He's in middle of a contract, like 3 years in or 2 years in, and he feels he's underpaid now because that's what happens.
Exactly.
You're at one time you're one of the highest paid, and then over time, guys pass you up, and you sit there like, well, wait, I'm still better than him and whatnot. So it sounds like, at least from everything I'm reading, it's not just a trade, it's a trade plus he's looking for a little bump in pay. So I don't know what that means, but he's up around the 30, I want to say 28, 27 a year. He's up there pretty good. He's got a really nice contract not too long ago.
Yeah, 4 years, $87.5 million when he signed it.
Yeah, so what is that, 24, something like that, 23? Anyway, whatever. He's making a ton of money and he wants a little bit more.
Average salary currently 21.8.
21, okay, sorry. I was a little high.
No, yeah, but that I do understand when, you are him with that resume that we've discussed as far as all those different stats.
Yep.
When he's off the field, when he's not on the field, and in general, last year 9 sacks. Like you're on a team that you don't expect to win anything, right? That's where I feel like we saw it with Myles Garrett.
Yeah,
but then the Browns did pay him.
They did
the max amount of money.
Yeah, I saw it earlier. It was like 2 years left, and I want to say whoever gets him would have to pay like 27 something this year, and then 25 next year, and that's if they keep the current contract.
Yeah, the cap hit for this year is almost 27 million, and next year 26.5.
Yeah. I thought it was around that.
Yeah, I don't know if we can figure that one out.
Take a first-round pick. The Jaguars don't have that currently, or maybe early second.
And then be ready to pay $27 million.
Obviously, also, James Gladstone told us that they were working on the extension with Travon Walker. They got it done.
Right.
They're now working on the extensions also with Brenton Strange and Parker Washington. You have to have money to be able to do that stuff when you already have your QB locked up and Josh Hines Allen, obviously now Travon Walker too.
Yep, and Jacoby. You got these
and
guys.
Jacoby Cole Van Lannon. Absolutely.
Yeah, they all add up after a while, and you got to have money for the rookies too. But
Trevor's contract starts this year, so that's what's going in there.
Him and
got your QB
Travon and JHA. They're rolling in the dough this year, man. Now we just need a championship. Right? Is that too much to ask?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. Come on, man.
I mean,
get it together.
If the stars align, obviously, and the Jaguars get I'll say, more favorable opponent to the first game in the postseason, and maybe they get the bye, that would be lovely, right? Like the Patriots and the Seahawks did. But if you get a more favorable matchup, then you never know what can happen. And I'm not saying that the Jaguars only lost in the postseason because they played the Bills. They might have lost to another team. But it sure felt like they were going up against one of the better teams in the AFC in that very first wild card weekend.
Yeah. I mean, look, you credit Buffalo for playing a pretty damn good game. They battled back. I mean, look, we had leads. They battled back. I mean, and that QB took over. I mean, you saw a quarterback literally take over a game running and throwing. Yeah. And you can give me all the reasons why. To me, they don't matter because at the end of the day, he basically did whatever he needed to do to win that game.
And we saw a better defense beat him the next week.
Correct. He was harassed the next week. Absolutely harassed. And that didn't happen with us. But whatever, that's why that's what Liam's talking about. Like, this is what we got to get better. Just getting there is not good enough. Don't pat yourself on the back. It was great last year, but that's over now. Forget it. We're not congratulating each other on a great year last year. We're starting over on a new year.
Yeah.
And that's the mentality, and that's the way they're preaching it. So, they got enough in the core to be as good as last year. Maybe not 13, but they got enough. I mean, you're going to miss ETN, so you got to figure that out. You miss Devin, but, I think as a collective offense and defensive unit, they could be close to where they're at, as is right now, without improving at all through the draft or if they make any moves. You know what I mean? I mean, now, granted, there's ifs, and we've talked about those, but, maybe you're healthier.
I was going to say,
That
would
could
you
be
say
one
they were
thing.
healthy last year? Because I would say they, other than quarterback, they still suffered injuries at a lot of key positions.
Yeah, it
whether
felt
was
like it.
Travon Walker, Eric Armstead later, Brandon Thomas Jr. early in the season, Brenton Strange. It did feel like there were Devin Lloyd.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, staying healthy
Now,
is
it wasn't
part of the deal.
2022, but they've also had worse like the quarterback's the one you don't want to happen, and you felt like that was good. And that's what I mean. When you get to this point, this is when I really think you start to figure out how good general managers in the front office are, when you have to figure out contracts that you need to keep here. Obviously, you're paying the quarterback. The quarterback now, if you're paying that's a lot of money you're going to be putting out to a quarterback. You have 2 edge rushers that you're paying now. You're talking about Parker Washington and Brenton Strange. So this is the beginning of, yes, the foundation's built, and that's when you really see how good some of these organizations are at building and keeping and being able to manage some of the financials. You've seen the consistent teams, like we talked about the Rams most recently, just because of what they've been able to do when it comes to drafting and signing and keeping. And the quarterback, they pay their quarterback a lot of money, and they're still able to. They feel like they're consistently in it. Philly, when it comes to being able to build their roster and develop and also sign players. They've lost some, but for the most part, defensively, they're able to pay. They paid Saquon a lot of money for a running back. And Jalen Hurts, obviously. And so this is when we'll start seeing how good James Gladstone and this organization is up front, when you have to start paying and keeping players. But then you can't always do that. You can't afford everybody. And we've seen every other teams like the Chiefs. The Chiefs, parting ways. Do you think they wanted to get rid of Tyreek Hill? No.
Right.
But they knew they were going to be paying Patrick Mahomes, and they had to fix other things. So they're like, all right, we have the quarterback that can carry the team, so you have to make more difficult decisions on who stays and who goes. And that's what's interesting with the Giants, because I think the Giants have a lot of youngness on the offense when it comes to Dart and Scadaboo and Malik Neighbors. They just got Isaiah Likely and Darnell Mooney in the offseason. So their offense, I think, can be pretty explosive and good as long as everyone stays healthy. And then now I feel like they don't want – if I was them, I'd say, no, we don't want to get rid of you. But then we've seen what tensions, when you come to blow like that, how that looks for some of these teams.
And a veteran like that, he may be thinking, well, how close are we to really being a contender? Am I going to do another year or 2 years still battling it out, and we're still, looking up in the NFC?
Yeah, youth is great when it comes to contracts. It's not always great when it comes to winning championships.
Yeah. I like all those players, though. I think their offense could be good.
I'm curious to see Scadaboo continuing at the
playing the way he does.
I mean, he's a vicious runner.
Yeah.
And he's trying to run everybody over. I think eventually that might catch up.
His quarterback was trying to do that too.
Also, that's why I said healthy. They've got it. Both those guys play very physical.
I'll tell you, talking about health real quick, I tell you what helps every team is that the 4-week IR. They used to be like if you had a major injury and it was going to be more than 4 weeks, they'd be like, God, we can't keep you.
Yeah.
You got to go to IR. So that's a great tool for these teams to have, that you can say, okay, we got 4 weeks to get this guy healthy. We don't have to put him on IR and shelve him for the whole year.
Yeah.
And you don't have to
or
bring
keep
them back.
a hurt player on your roster, because you don't want to do that in case he's back in 6 weeks.
Correct.
You can manage it a little better now.
And you don't have to bring them back after the 4 weeks.
Yeah.
Right.
Like Brenton Strange missed 5 games with his.
It's the minimum of 4.
Right. But I mean, I was thinking too, Cole Van Lannon got hurt, Walker Little got hurt, Jordan Lewis got hurt. Like there were Patrick McCary, absolutely. And there's always those injuries too, Tom, as you well know, that are not necessarily listed on the injury report.
Right.
Because they don't prevent someone from practicing or limit someone at practice, but everyone's dealing with nicks and bruises and all that stuff towards the end of the season. Absolutely. By the way, I also saw that Lamar Jackson reported today, and obviously they can start early because they have a new head coach. Every other year, for the most part, he's missed the offseason training, but he's there this year.
They wonder how long he's going to stay.
Right, exactly. We shall
new
see.
regime. He wanted it seemed like, so maybe he's all in on the new path.
Absolutely. All right, more to do on the other side, including the golden moment. You are listening to Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday, 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
1010XL is multimedia. Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube.
You can't buy this kind of media exposure.
1010XL, maximum media exposure.
When you're hungry, go big, and more importantly, go to Dailies, where they got anything and everything to tantalize your taste buds and fill you up. At Dailies, our barbecue beef brisket sandwich is slow smoked to perfection, tender, juicy, and full of bold flavor. It's the kind of sandwich that truly satisfies. Try the barbecue brisket sandwich at Dailies. Meanwhile, some favorites never go out of style. The Duval sub at Dailies is stacked, loaded, and made with the bold flavor you want in every bite. Fresh ingredients, big taste. It's a local favorite. Grab the Duval sub today at Dailies. Or maybe you just want a delicious chicken sandwich. Some choices just work. The chicken sandwich at Daly's is crispy on the outside, it's juicy on the inside, and it is full of flavor. Perfect for lunch, perfect for dinner, perfect anytime hunger hits. So grab the chicken sandwich today at Daly's. Daly's is made fresh, it's made local, and Daly's is built for big appetites. I'll see you there today.
It's a Big Chief Tire Monday. The local Jacksonville shop for fair prices and service you can trust.
Yeah, I know how awful it is to get injured, but not like my friend Tom who got rear-ended last year. Tom McMahon is here. Morgan & Morgan can help you. They're the largest personal injury law firm in the nation. 1,000 lawyers, 100 offices across the nation, and over $30 billion recovered. And guess what? They don't get a single penny unless you do. A proven track record with backup. Hard to find these days, but not with Morgan & Morgan. For the people, that's right. Get injured due to someone's neglect, get paid. Dial pound law or check out forthepeople.com.
My Gate Rewards members, this deal is just for you. Right now, grab any two 12-ounce Red Bulls and get 2 of your favorite roller grill items for just $1. When you need a boost, Gates got you. See store for details.
Big Brothers Big Sisters is teaming up with the NFL to inspire change. From now to draft day, Big Brothers Big Sisters is following the NFL draft, aiming to recruit potential bigs. Hi, I'm Brent from the 1010 sales team. I'm committed as a mentor, and we need you to step up and become a mentor too. There's a waiting list of more than 50 children hoping for a mentor. It's just a few hours a month. Be a mentor, become a big. Visit bbsnefl.org. Be a mentor or visit Big Brothers Big Sisters and click on Big Draft.
Catch Gators baseball all season long on 1010XL. Pitched by the personal injury attorneys of Farah and Farah, Randy Marion Cadillac of Jacksonville, and Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Bueller. Stay cooler with Bueller.
Hey, pal, what's bothering you?
I've been struggling with a bit of procrastination, Jason.
You? Procrastinate?
I meant to tell you before, but I guess I kind of put it off.
I get that.
But then you said spring is the best time to get my air conditioner checked before the summer heat hits. And I thought, what if I put that off too?
Uh-oh.
I mean, what if I wait too long to call for my spring service and you guys get too busy with emergency repairs and new installations and you can't spare a service tech to come do my tune-up?
Dude, put on your Bueller shades.
Whoa.
Just join the Bueller Air and Plumbing Maintenance Program. We'll call you twice a year, in the spring and the fall, to schedule your free AC tune-up. Procrastination defeated.
Hey, that's great. I really should sign up one of these days.
Stay cooler with Bueller.
Visit BuellerAir.com.
When my wrist pain was acting up and I needed help, I took Dan Hickens' advice and headed over to see the experts at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. This is Stuart Moore with the PGA Tour. I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. Whenever you have a need, they took great care of me. They'll take great care of you.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy. The next time you need orthopedic care, you can rely on our team at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Relieve pain and get back to life. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
The last few weeks, we've been going over different draft prospects that we think, whether they fit the Jags' needs or whether they feel like it's somebody who lands in, especially that first pick, talking at 56 of guys that may be available there, but then some a little bit later. I was reading something earlier. It was another mock draft, but they were focusing on more developmental that maybe you get a little later in the draft for needs, guys that maybe this year aren't starting and making a huge impact right away, but their ceiling's high and fit the needs. And so they have the Jaguars taking Zane Durant, a defensive tackle out of Penn State.
Right.
Yeah. So they their little note on this says the Jags are looking for athletic interior defensive lineman. Penn State Zane Durant included a 92 athleticism score at the NFL Combine for running a 4.75 and leaping 33.5 inch vert at 290 pounds. Durant has short area quickness that includes that indicates he may succeed at 3 tech. And so that's when you look at his draft profile, it does go into that. They project him as a defensive tackle 3 tech. He is 6'1", 290. As I mentioned, he ran a 4.75. They said back in 2023, he actually ran a 4.66, and Bruce Feldman put him on his freaks list at number 38 that year because of those numbers, obviously. And so it's an interesting one. They talk about the athleticism, and we've talked about here. That seems like the trend when it comes to the athletic, speedy, versatile. All 3 of those boxes are checked off with Zane Durant. Some of the things: first step off the snap is among the quickest you'll find. Yeah, I am I'm always hungry. Is one of the quickest you will find at this position. Lateral agility shows up on tape when working stunts and twist games. Low pad levels, natural, tracks screens and chases down the perimeter. So a lot of good things out of that. A few weaknesses that they have just says production never matched the athletic profile across the 4 years of college tape. Shorter arms and a compact frame make it hard to keep blockers off his chest. Gets driven off spots by double teams at times, so some negatives. The one interesting that as I was scrolling through this, one of his player comps is Jordan Jefferson, who we tried that here, and it didn't work out. But just an interesting name to keep in mind, somebody that, like I said, a little later in the draft that they do picture as a developmental piece, but a lot of boxes checked off when it comes to how he fits the Jags and what they look for just on the athleticism side.
Yeah, I would just he's got the athletic ability, little undersized, will he get swallowed, I just when you're unless you're Aaron Donald, with the violence of his hands and the quickness and the power and all that, it's really hard to go against those guards and tackles as a 290-pound defensive tackle. You know what I mean? You don't have to be, Eric's 300, but he's 6'8" and strong as a bull. He's tough to move off the spot. I just feel like sometimes those smaller linemen could get swallowed up just by the big guys. But if he's got that quick first step and that violent, those violent hands, maybe he can keep those big fat guys off him so he can get to the QB and the running backs,
Yeah. I looked up Bruce Feldman's 2023 freaks list because I was interested. Obviously, that gives us a little bit of time for these guys to have played in the NFL since, right?
Yeah.
So the second one on here, Marvin Harrison Jr., Ohio State wide receiver, I'd say pretty good. Another one, Francis Mauigoa, the Miami offensive tackle. So he hasn't played yet in the NFL, but obviously he'll be drafted really high. But here's what's interesting. Cooper DeJean, the Iowa cornerback, he's been in the league for a couple years now.
He's very good.
Also really good. Brock Bowers is on this list.
Very good.
And first time we saw him, we all knew he's going to be a pro in the NFL tight end. Jared Verse is on the list. He was down like 26. But here's what's interesting. A guy that we've been talking about, well, Mason Smith, by the way, also on the list, who is currently a Jaguar. But a guy that we've been talking about in Dante Corleone is on this list. So he stayed in college a lot longer.
Yeah.
But yeah, very interesting stuff.
Well, and also because he too, obviously he was on that one. So there's still some guys that are just entering the draft this year with Mauigoa, and some that we've seen now in the NFL for a couple years. So that's fun.
Malik Neighbors is one of his. Zane Durant, like you mentioned. Armand Membo, who we know is really
drafted
talented.
high last year.
Yep. So yeah, I feel like NFL guys should at least have this as a reference point, the freaks list. And also Prisco's better than list. Like he thinks they're better than where they'll be drafted. He's always got some really talented players there too.
Well, I'll tell you, you look at defensive tackle, from the rankings and these guys in their different schools, you could take, even from Adon, Grayson Halton in Oklahoma, they say he's the best pass rusher. Daryl Jackson Jr. out of Florida State, he's a good prospect. Chris McClellan out of Missouri. These guys could be there. Zane Durant, Dante Corleone, they're all right there in that, 8 or 6 to 16 range in their rankings. So you can imagine a D tackle, being picked by our Jags. It's not a need. You need something. But even that kid, the Dominique Orange kid out of Iowa State, they say
big
he's
citrus.
Big, but project-esque, but maybe you can get him going early. But yeah, I would think they'd address that position for sure.
As we get closer, it does feel like defensive tackle might be that pick at 56 if that's where they stay. And then circle back to linebacker, edge rusher, cornerback.
Unless there's something we don't know about the offensive line and they go tackle.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Like,
Especially if they move up to get a tackle, then that's definitely
Big
going
indicator
to
there.
tell us that Cole Van
something's
Lanen,
up.
is not going to be able to start at left tackle, and we'll see.
Which, side note real quick, well, I guess same topic, but he in that draft profile, it was like his box score doesn't match maybe the full athletic production. But even with that, he had 67 combined tackles, 15 and a half tackles for loss, and 7 sacks in the last 2 seasons and an interception. So still decent production out of that for what they're considering doesn't match his athleticism. So
For
that
Zane
shows
Durant.
kind of where the, for Zane Durant, where the ceiling possibly is for him.
What round matters with a guy like that? You grab him in the 5th or 4th, and maybe he's a gem. You just never know, right? But that's why you take shots on those kind of guys in that round. Like, it's like, we'll see if he can, we'll take a chance on this kid with a 5th rounder or whatever.
Yeah, that's why you want to know, like, when James Gladstone was with the Rams, was he the one identifying some of the talent that they picked later? And obviously, they have a scouting department and things like that, too. But is it more or less Snead that was like, all right, I'm identifying the gems? Was it more James Gladstone, a combo effort? These are the kinds of things that I want to know.
Well, I mean, James came from the staff, so, you got to have your good soldiers that you can count on, right? Even though you're less Snead or you're James now in the GM role, you really are counting on your scouts. You're counting on their abilities to evaluate. Thank you. These young guys on and off the field. Like, you can't see everybody. You can't go to everybody. You just hope that when you get down to that final 30 or whatever it is, that your guys, you trust them enough that they've got the right profile for you, the right player, the right kind of person, the right kind of guy on the field and off, So you gotta, and then you use your own metrics or however you do it, and then you're like, all right, I like this kid the best, or we're gonna pick this kid if he's there, or maybe we'll jump up a few spots if he's there. We really like him. Who that is, I have no idea, but just that whole thing, like, So you look at the Rams. I mean, they continue. What did they do? They almost make it to the show, and they just make their defensive backfield 10 times better.
Yeah,
they had
that was their weakness.
They had the money. That was their weakness. They're like, hey, let's go get Trent McDuffie and Jalen Watson, and we'll figure this thing out. And who cares what it costs?
Yeah, that's what cost them the Super Bowl was their secondary. And that's what you always want to see, the improvements made for sure. All right, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, and again, just a reminder, this year might have been the year you got to clean up the books a little. It's like a business, you take over a business, the financials aren't as great as you want them to be. You got to clean it up, got to pay this debt off, get this back in the, in the green or the black or whatever, that kind of thing. So that could be what they're going through, this year in Jacksonville.
Sounds like you've had a business before. I love it.
I pretend to, anyway.
Rest of the day on the other side, you are listening to Helmets and Heels on a Big Chief Tire Monday, 10 to XL 92.5 FM.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Summer's almost here, and TCA Conqueror Camp is ready for your kids. This summer, campers entering kindergarten through 5th grade will explore faith, build character, and have an incredible time in their beautiful 150-acre campus. 8-week sessions run June 1st through July 24th, and you don't have to be a TCA student to join in. Sign up for 1 week or the whole summer at tcajax.org/camp. tcajax.org/camp.
Hey, Tom McManus here for Armstrong Fence Company, a locally owned and operated business on the First Coast for nearly 20 years. Known for reliability, quality craftsmanship, and professional service, Armstrong Fence handles it all. From big projects like stadiums and schools to your own backyard. Basically, they build a wicked strong fence, and they do it right the first time. When you need a fence, trust Armstrong Fence Company. Yeah, we did the fence.
Big Chief Tire Monday on Helmets and Heels.
We're certainly facing interesting economic times. For me, it's comforting to know my money's in good hands with ITP Partners. Jacksonville guys taking care of my Jacksonville money. Experience? Yeah, that's Chris Bryan, Jeff Hartman, Reagan Wright, Dan Abel, Scott Regner, Janice Cobb, and Reed Wingate. They have the expertise and knowledge to take care of your money. For more info, go to itppartners.com. ITP Partners, they're my financial partners for life.
Non-compensated client testimonial may not be representative of all client experiences. No guarantee of future performance or success. Kubota keeps job sites running smoothly with the #1 selling compact excavator lineup in the world. Reliable, capable, and backed by strong dealer support. Stop by today and power up your crew. Right now, bring home select Kubota excavators with 0% financing available or save up to $7,000. Now through June 30th, see store or go to KubotaUSA.com/disclaimers for full disclaimer. Coastal Equipment on New Kings Road and in McClenny.
Spring is in the air, and Alev's long-lasting pain relief is here to keep you moving. The days are longer and the flowers are blooming. Whether it's gardening, yard work, or just spending more time outdoors, spring is a way of getting us moving despite any body pain. That's where Aleve can keep you going. With just one dose, Aleve gives you long-lasting body pain relief for up to 12 hours. From sunup to sundown, Aleve's got your back. Try Aleve. Use as directed for minor aches and pains.
Alert! Alert! Termite swarms are active right now in Jacksonville, and once they get inside, damage can happen fast. Termites don't knock, they silently attack the structure of your home, leaving behind costly repairs and long-term headaches. Protect what you've worked hard for with the proven protection homeowners trust. Terminix it with advanced termite treatment and prevention solutions. Visit Terminix.com and schedule your free termite inspection today.
Checkmate. I'm Brendan Cecilia, founder of Checkmate Coatings.
And I'm Chester, the Checkmate chess man.
At most companies, people start on the ground floor and work their way up to the corner office. At Checkmate, I started on the ground floor, and almost 20 years in, that's still where I am, making ground floors look awesome, one garage at a time.
Well, I started as a pawn and worked my way up to king.
No, you didn't. Some guy drew you as a king. I asked them to give you a roller, so at least you'd look like one of the guys.
Yes, I rather would have preferred a sword.
At Checkmate, I work personally with our teams to perfect the preparation and application techniques that make Checkmate floors beautiful and durable.
And I keep things classy with my adorable accent.
Beautiful floors?
Check. Guaranteed to last?
Check. The finishing touch your home deserves? Checkmate.
Transforming your floors, making them great. Checkmate.
Visit checkmatecoatings.com.
1010XL, presented by Farrah and Farrah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farrah doesn't flinch.
Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders. I'm Lauren Brooks with you. Almost time to turn it over to the Frangie Show. But before that, it is time for the Pest of the Day. As always, brought to you by our friends at Terminix. You can find them online at Terminix.com. It's TERMINIX.com. They do a fabulous job taking care of all the pest control issues at my house, at Everbank Stadium, ViStar Ballpark, ViStar Veterans Memorial Arena, and all of your favorite event venues around town. By the way, we'll be at ViStar on Friday night for Eric Church.
Oh,
He's
yes.
also performing the national anthem again today ahead of Rays Cubs. But yeah, the pest of the day is going to be the fact that I lost internet and cable service over the weekend. I'm not going to call anyone out because the company has since fixed it, but it is very difficult to work in sports and to not have any, or work in general and not have any internet. But yeah, definitely no TV. So thankfully able to watch it all on my phone, but that's not ideal, especially when you have vision issues like I have. I need the big screen TV, not big, but at least a TV.
That's always a hassle when that happens.
It sure is. And then they don't come in the window. They have the 4-hour window, and then they don't come in the window. That's always fun too.
Yeah, because you're not doing anything. You're just hanging around 4 hours.
Right, which on a non-work day is one thing, and we could have scheduled someone to come out on Easter yesterday, which I thought was kind of crazy that they had people available, but in the end, we had way too much to do with family stuff, which was a blast, and had a great time.
Yeah. I was telling you, I was like, you could stream it to your TV technically from your phone. And that's one of the positives now is there's so many ways to, like, technology. You can do so many things. Because I've had it before where, like, I don't have a certain game. And so there's, like, the streams out there that you can get online. And so I just, like, but you can, like, cast it to your TV now.
But you had Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
Well, no, just my phone service.
Okay.
Yeah, you just use your phone. If you have Wi-Fi, it's great. But if you can just use your phone service or like hotspot, whatever.
Yeah. I read today where the TV revenue for the league, the NFL, is going up to almost $16 billion.
That's because they now get more money every year from adding all these streaming services. So there's Amazon Prime and Netflix.
All right. And I read this article that they're wondering if it'll hurt network TV.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Because all the money, and it's a sure thing with the NFL. People are going to watch the NFL.
Yeah.
Like to invest in that, you're like, hell yeah, my return is great.
Maybe
Everyone
that's what
loves
we should do. Start a new streaming company and
there
sell
you
it to
go.
the NFL, and then we'll
Done.
all be billionaires.
Perfect. Good idea.
Almost like Travon Walker. I guess he's more multimillionaire than billionaire. Let's say hello to the Frangie Show.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnik. Nimnik Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnik Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Hey, is Michigan or UConn? Who wins it all tonight?
It's going to be Michigan. I wish that maybe it would be a different story because I think it'd be nice to see some drama, but the Wolverines, I thought Arizona would beat Michigan, and they toyed with them.
Yeah.
I mean, I think Arizona had like 3 assists to 14 turnovers. I mean, just the Wolverines' defense was incredible, particularly losing Yaxel so early into the game. And so just incredibly impressive. The line 6.5. Dan Hurley is a genius, and UConn has the DNA that you want for this kind of an upset, but boy, it's just hard to see a matchup that you like if you're UConn. I mean, even like Terrace Reed is, I think going to have his hands full. And, Caravan was like 1 of 9 from the floor the other night. So,
and Solo Ball has the injury too now.
Yeah. So, I would think it's going to be go blue all the way.
Dexter Lawrence. Can the Jaguars somehow, some way add him to their roster?
I think if he doesn't get traded before the draft, which is now coming up, that creates a little bit of a deadline. That's 3 weeks away. So if he doesn't get traded prior to the draft, then I think it's definitely in play. But if the Giants look to move him the next couple weeks, I would think it'd be tough. I'm sure they're looking for a first-round pick. The Jaguars obviously don't have that. So it's hard to convince for a GM that's trading Lawrence, or in whether it was Crosby or Lawrence, whoever. It's hard to sell that to your fans if you're not getting a 1 back in the next immediate draft. And so, I think if it's post-draft, then I think all bets are on the table. I think he'd make a lot of sense. But I'd be surprised I think they'll get a 1 for him. And therefore, if it's in the next couple weeks, I would think it'd be elsewhere.
All right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, probably not going to work for the Jags, but we shall see.
You never know. Yeah, we'll talk about it coming up on the Frangie Show. We'll have a Scholar Athlete at 4:20, and we'll give you a Loser Monday update. It's been an eventful weekend. We've had some text messages. JJ will say that we're interesting,
aggressive, maybe.
A little interesting in terms of
I see JJ laughing,
losses
so I
that
can't
weren't
wait
a
to
loss that now may be a loss, and so anyway, so it's
controversy.
It's a very it feels like a season finale of Young and the Restless, although they may not
Great
do
show.
season finales because those things just go
Never
on forever.
end.
Yeah, but anyway, it should be
Like
a very
Seinfeld.
illuminating Loser Monday. We each have a guy tonight.
Okay.
So I'm in last right now, down 6 points. So we'll see. I will be glued to the screen tonight for sure.
Absolutely. All right. Thanks,
Thank
guys.
you.
We'll be listening for that controversy update for sure when it comes to Loser Monday. All right. That'll do it for us. For Taylor Dahl, Tom McManus, RJ Saunders, I'm Lauren Brooks. These heels are made for talking. We will talk to you tomorrow, but don't go anywhere. The Frangie Show is next.